There's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
He said, it's my league now.
Yeah.
He said, MJ, you had your turn. Larry Bird, you had your turn. Now it's my league.
I love it.
And we all bowed down.
Because on July 9th, 2025, two of the biggest names in the NBA said something so wild, so reckless, that it didn't just break the internet, it woke up legends who've been quiet for years. We're talking about a single joke that turned into a full-scale generational war, a moment where LeBron James and Kevin Durant thought they were just having a casual conversation until the entire basketball world reminded them that some lines you just don't cross. And when Magic freaking Johnson, steps into the ring to defend Michael Jordan, oh, you know it's serious. This isn't just drama. This is legacy warfare. This is about respect, grief, and whether modern superstars even understand what they're mocking. So buckle up, because what started as a podcast punchline became the messiest, most explosive GOAT debate we've seen in years. See, not every legendary moment in sports happens on the court. Sometimes the most iconic or infamous moments happen when microphones are on and guards are down. During interviews, during late night talk shows, during podcasts where players think they're just vibing with their boys, cracking jokes, keeping it light. But July 9th, 2025, that was not one of those harmless moments. LeBron James and Kevin Durant sat down for an episode of the Mind the Game podcast. Steve Nash was there too, moderating, keeping the conversation flowing. They were supposed to be talking shop, basketball IQ, strategy, the grind of staying elite after years in the league, real hoop talk, the kind of stuff fans eat up because you're getting inside the minds of two all-time greats. And then Kevin Durant opened his mouth. They were deep into a discussion about recommitment. You know, that point in a superstar's career where the question becomes, do you still want this? After the championships, the MVPs, the all-star nods, the legacy cemented, do you still have that fire? Are you still hungry, or are you just going through the motions? It's a fair question. A lot of greats have faced it, but KD decided to get spicy. Kevin Durant, sitting there all casual, drops this: some people say I want to go play baseball. And just like that, the room shifted because everyone knew who he was talking about. There was no mystery, no ambiguity. Kevin Durant was talking about Michael Jordan, the man whose name is still synonymous with greatness, the guy who left the NBA in his prime to go swing a bat in the minor leagues. And KD just casually threw that out there like it was a punchline. LeBron burst out laughing, not a polite chuckle, not a "that's funny bro" laugh. We're talking a loud, unfiltered reaction that said, "Yo, I can't believe you just said that." It was the kind of laugh that co-signs the joke, that doubles down on it, that says, yeah, we both thinking the same thing. But here's the problem. Here's where this whole thing goes from a harmless roast session to a full-blown controversy that's about to bring the entire basketball community down on their heads. Michael Jordan didn't leave to play baseball because he got bored. He didn't leave because he lost his commitment. James Jordan, for a second, Michael's dad, his mentor, his rock, the man who believed in him before the world knew his name, the guy who sat courtside and watched his son become the greatest basketball player to ever live.
I don't usually talk trash, but I had to that time. So I said, Michael, if you don't turn into Air Jordan, we gonna blow y'all out. Man, he started sweating. That tongue went long.
In 1993, James Jordan was shot and killed during a robbery at a highway rest stop in North Carolina. Michael Jordan, at the height of his powers, fresh off a three-peat, fresh off destroying every team in his path, walked away from basketball. Not because he didn't love the game, not because he didn't want to win anymore, but because grief consumed him, because the one person who made all of it mean something was gone. And you know what James Jordan always wanted for his son? He wanted Michael to play baseball. It was his father's dream, his father's hope. And so Michael, in the middle of unspeakable pain, honored that dream. He signed a minor league contract with the Chicago White Sox, played 127 games with the Birmingham Barons, struggled at the plate, got ridiculed by the media, but he did it anyway because it was the last connection he had to his dad. It was tribute, it was love, it was grief in uniform. And that's the story Kevin Durant and LeBron James just turned into a joke about commitment. The clip hit Twitter, X. and it was game over. Within hours, it was everywhere. Every timeline, every sports page, every debate thread. And oh, the fans were not having it. Jordan loyalists came out in full force. LeBron's fans tried to defend him. KD supporters tried to say it wasn't that deep, but it was too late. The damage was done. Comments were ruthless, emotional, personal. People weren't just mad about the basketball disrespect. They were mad about the human disrespect. You don't joke about a man's murdered father. You don't turn tragedy into a punchline, and you definitely don't do it when you're two players who've spent your entire careers being compared to that man, trying to chase his ghost, trying to claim his throne. The internet wasn't just calling them out, it was roasting them. Memes, video breakdowns, think pieces. Everyone had something to say, and it wasn't stopping. Then the media personalities smelled blood in the water, and when Skip Bayless gets involved, oh, you know it's about to get messy. Skip came out swinging, called Kevin Durant's comment ignorant, called LeBron's laughter disgusting. He wasn't holding back. He wasn't playing nice. He made it clear this wasn't just a bad joke. It was a character issue, and Skip wasn't alone. The debate exploded across every sports show, every podcast, every YouTube channel. This wasn't about basketball anymore. This was about respect, about whether LeBron and KD understood the weight of the legacy they were disrespecting, about whether they even cared. Because here's the thing, Michael Jordan didn't just leave and fade into obscurity. He came back and won 3 more championships, came back and led the Bulls to a 72-10 season, still the greatest regular season record of all time, came back and went 6-0 in the finals, 6-0, no losses, no Game 7 collapses, no we'll get them next year, just dominance, just rings, just GOAT behavior.
Get his back. You gotta get his ass. So get down on that block and get him back. So I threw it to him. He scored. They come back. They scored. We scored. So we were talking stuff. So finally, we got on a little...
So when KD questions his commitment, when LeBron laughs at his sacrifice, it's not just disrespectful, it's ignorant. Kevin Durant must have felt the heat because he hopped on Twitter real quick trying to clean it up, tweeted out that MJ is still the GOAT, said he respects both Jordan and LeBron, even flexed that he owns over $1 million in Michael Jordan sneakers, like that's supposed to prove something. But the fans, they weren't buying it. It felt like damage control, like backtracking, like, oh crap, I went too far and now the entire basketball world is coming for me. The clarification didn't ease the tension. If anything, it made it worse. Because now it looked like KD knew he messed up, but only cared once the backlash hit. And here's where it gets really spicy, because this wasn't just random fans being upset. This wasn't just casual Twitter drama. The legends started responding. The players who lived through that era, the ones who faced Michael Jordan, the ones who lost to Michael Jordan, they started speaking up and they were pissed. Kwame Brown, Kwame Brown came out with one of the most explosive reactions we've seen. He didn't hold back, called KD and LeBron ignorant, reminded everyone that Jordan's father was murdered, accused them of being hypocrites, calling them roadrunners who ran to form super teams instead of staying and fighting. He went in, and people listened because Kwame was saying what a lot of old school players were thinking but didn't want to say publicly. Then Gilbert Arenas jumped in. Arenas broke it down with context that a lot of younger fans didn't even know. He pointed out that Jordan didn't just leave for baseball on a whim. There were gambling investigations swirling around him, grief consuming him, pressure suffocating him. He faced things that modern superstars can't even imagine. And Arenas made it clear. Jordan's pressure, Jordan's pain, Jordan's life was on a completely different level than what players deal with today. Then Charles Barkley, never one to stay quiet, threw his hat in the ring. And Chuck didn't just defend Jordan, he went after the super team culture, said Jordan never joined his rivals. He beat them. He didn't call up Magic and say, hey, let's team up. He didn't run to the Pistons after they knocked him down. He stayed. He fought. He conquered. And then Barkley looked straight at Kevin Durant and said what everyone was thinking. You joined the team that beat you. KD left Oklahoma City after blowing a 3-1 lead to the Warriors and then joined the Warriors. That's the difference between Jordan's mentality and the modern NBA. Jordan fought through adversity. KD ran from it, and Barkley wasn't about about to let anyone forget that. Even Steve Kerr, who's coached both LeBron and has intimate knowledge of Jordan, had to speak up. And Kerr made a distinction that cut deep. He said, LeBron is great, but he's not Michael. He talked about how Kobe Bryant shared that killer mentality with Jordan, that assassin instinct, that refusal to lose, that willingness to destroy anyone in his path without mercy. LeBron's greatness is undeniable, but that mentality, that singular, ruthless focus, that's Jordan, that's Kobe. And Kerr, who won championships with MJ, made it clear there are levels to this.
You ask me who I would take between Kevin Durant and LeBron Diddy James. That's a very complicated question, because one loves attending them Diddy parties and the other one is a snake that defends himself with Twitter burner accounts.
Even the polls weren't on KD and LeBron's side. Yardbarker ran a survey and 62% of fans said Kevin Durant was disrespectful. 62%. That's not a close call, that's a landslide. Fans felt like Jordan's tragedy shouldn't be turned into a punchline. Period. YouTube was flooded with reaction videos. Everyone had an opinion. AI generated content, deep dives, breakdowns. The internet became a battlefield and LeBron and KD were losing. And through all of this chaos, all of this noise, all of this back and forth, Magic Johnson was watching. Quietly, patiently, waiting for the right moment. See, Magic's not just some random commentator. He's not some hot take artist looking for clicks. Magic Johnson is a legend, a 5-time champion, a point guard who revolutionized the game. And most importantly, he was Michael Jordan's rival. He faced him in the 1991 NBA Finals. He watched Jordan rise. He experienced the shift of eras firsthand. His opinion doesn't just carry weight, it carries history. And Magic knew this wasn't just about basketball anymore. This was about respect, about legacy, about whether the modern generation understood what came before them. So when Magic Johnson stepped on stage at InvestFest 2025, hosted by Earn Your Leisure, and someone asked him point blank, Jordan or LeBron, Magic didn't hesitate, didn't pause, didn't dance around it. He looked straight ahead and said, it would have to be Michael Jordan, and the room went silent.
Boys are trying their hardest, jumping from super team to super team, trying to catch up to my 6 rings, but we all know it's never gonna.
Because this wasn't Skip Bayless. This wasn't Charles Barkley throwing shade. This was Magic Johnson, a man who competed against Jordan, who knows exactly what it's like to face that level of greatness, telling the world that Michael is on a different level. And then Magic did something that hit even harder. He got emotional. He took the audience back to that iconic moment in the 1991 Finals. Game 2, Michael Jordan driving to the basket, defenders collapsing on him, and then mid-AIR, he switches the ball from his right hand to his left and finishes with a reverse layup that defied physics. Magic said, that's something nobody else could do. He spoke with reverence, with awe, like he was still replaying that moment in his head after all these years, because that wasn't just a highlight, that was art, that was genius, that was Michael Jordan showing the world why he's untouchable. Jordan averaged 31.2 points per game in that series, shot 56% from the field, went on a 13 for 13 perfect stretch. He destroyed one of the greatest teams ever assembled, Magic's Showtime Lakers, and Magic saw it, he lived it, he felt it, and he never forgot. Now, don't get it twisted, Magic gave LeBron his flowers, called him a bad boy, and in Magic's world, that's a compliment. He acknowledged LeBron's greatness, his longevity, his consistency, his basketball IQ. Everything LeBron's accomplished is undeniable, but then Magic said the words that cut through all the noise. LeBron is great, but he's not Michael. There's a difference between greatness and the greatest, between being elite and being untouchable, and Magic made it crystal clear. Michael Jordan is in a category by himself. Magic even dropped a Dream Team story that sent chills down everyone's spine. He talked about a legendary practice session, the best players in the world, Hall of Famers, champions, superstars, all in one gym. And Michael Jordan, he dominated everyone, absolutely destroyed them. And when practice was over, Magic said, we all bowed down. Let that sink in. The greatest basketball players on earth bowed down to Michael Jordan. That's not hype. That's not media narrative. That's reality. That's what his peers thought of him. And Magic was there. He witnessed it. He lived it.
You guys got more out of the practices than you got out of the actually playing.
You're right. We practice, man. When you got 10 egos out on that court like
Best
that.
in the world.
Yes. going at each other every single.
And that's why the older generation of players was so upset about KD and LeBron's joke, because in their era, you respected the legends. You didn't joke about their tragedies. You didn't turn their sacrifices into memes. Michael Jordan's dominance demanded reverence. His story demanded empathy. And KD and LeBron broke that unwritten rule. The older players weren't just mad about disrespect to Jordan. They were mad about what it represented. A generation that doesn't understand what came before them. A generation that thinks they can say whatever they want without consequences. A generation that forgot that the legends are still watching. Magic's statement went viral. Every major sports outlet covered it. Every social media platform exploded with clips. Because this wasn't just another hot take. This was a Jordan rival defending his legacy. It carried a weight that no one else's opinion could match.
Kant still has 0 rings, if you ask me, because he basically joined the greatest super team in NBA history just so he can finally win a ring. And when you look at Lee Diddy's rings, he won a Mickey Mouse ring in 2020 and another Mickey Mouse ring in 2012 during the lockout shortened.
Magic's philosophy became clear. He criticized the modern culture of teaming up with rivals. He praised Jordan's willingness to defeat greatness, not join it. He viewed Jordan's legacy as sacred, untouchable, and he wasn't about to let anyone, not even LeBron and KD, tarnish it.
With that 3-pointer. So that leaves him with only 1 ring. And that 1 ring was because of a Draymond Green suspension. So looking at all of that, Kevin and LeBarbie both have no legitimate.
Because here's the thing, this was never really about one joke. It was about how modern players talk about legends. It was about respect, about legacy, about whether LeBron and Kevin Durant, 2 of the greatest players of this generation, understand the weight of the names they invoke, about whether they've earned the right to mock the sacrifices of those who came before. Michael Jordan's legacy continues to dominate the conversation. The GOAT debate will never be fully resolved, and honestly, that's what makes it so powerful. But Magic Johnson's testimony carries unmatched weight because he was there. He competed. He lost. He watched Jordan become a myth in real time. And KD and LeBron's joke, it reminded everyone that legends are always listening, that respect isn't optional, and that when you come for the king, you better be ready for the entire kingdom to come for you. So where does this leave us? With one of the messiest, most explosive debates in NBA history, with legends defending legends, with generations clashing over what respect looks like, with 2 modern superstars learning the hard way that some lines you just don't cross.
Oh, when that tongue come
It's
out,
over. It's a problem.
he about to do something. Boy, that dude came out that timeout. He scored about 4 straight threes. Ooh. And I went, oh, man.
Came back and won 3 more championships, went 6-0 in the finals, built a legacy so powerful that even his rivals defend it decades later. And Kevin Durant and LeBron James, they learned that when you joke about greatness, greatness will remind you who's really untouchable. The debate rages on. The internet keeps talking. But one thing's for sure, Magic Johnson said what needed to be said. The older generation made their voices heard, and the world was reminded that Michael Jordan's throne, it's not up for debate.